Hey guys, Spud here, and today we have a bit of an emergency update on the Eagle Dynamics and Razbam situation. I woke up this morning to being bombarded with PMs and direct messages and ads and all kinds of things across all of my different socials, asking, hey Spud, did you see that the Razbam modules are no longer for sale on the Eagle Dynamics web store? So of course I popped open the DCS web store, and we can see here on the DCS F-15E entry, it is not available, which is very different from the big yellow buy button of say this Su-33 from the Flaming Cliff series. And we can see this is also true for all of the Razbam modules. So if we were to scroll over to the MiG-19, it is also not available, and if we scroll on down to the Harrier here, it is also not available. Now, this is definitely a big change, and we can see that Eagle Dynamics was asked by Razbam to stop selling their modules on the Eagle Dynamics web store. And we can see that Razbam here has also put out a few updates as of the last few days, which I wasn't really going to comment on, but I figured since this was such a big change in the situation by no longer selling the modules on the web store, that I should comment on it. Now, I think this is maybe a good thing going forward for the DCS World community, because we're no longer going to have to answer the sort of awkward questions to new DCS World players that is asked almost every single day within my Discord community of, hey guys, I really like DCS, it looks super cool, and my favorite jet is the F-15E, should I buy it? And everyone having to go, ooh, I don't know about that, it's no longer supported, and this is happening, and that's happening, and all that kind of stuff. Well, this prevents us from ever having to actually do that again. But unfortunately, it means that it seems that the death of Razbam and the death of the F-15E is probably imminent. Or, potentially, hopefully maybe more on the positive side, there is some sort of judgment that's coming down the pipeline, some sort of agreement, some sort of resolution to the issue, because this is a pretty big change in the legal environment that is going on in the background. So to explain that, in as simple of terms as possible and without trying to speculate too much or try to show my favor towards one side or the other, essentially when you have a breach of contract issue and it's say going to court or going to arbitration, something of that nature, you don't want to say, if one party is in breach of contract, you as the other party who's say being having your contract breached, you don't want to retaliate in a manner that it shows you are also breaching the contract. In this case, the contract between Eagle Dynamics and Razbam is, hey, we are going to sell your modules, Razbam, on our web store. And of course, on top of that, it also means that as people are buying the modules, even as the dispute is ongoing, eventually when a resolution or a judgment is found, then Eagle Dynamics will be able to back pay a Razbam for all of the purchases that occurred during the issue in question. So that is the reason why Eagle Dynamics didn't immediately rip down, say, the F-15E or the MiG-19 Farmer here or the Harrier right off of their web store, because they do not also want to be in breach of contract, as well as, of course, they want to do right by Razbam in the event that a settlement is reached and be able to give Razbam the revenue from those modules. But so hopefully this is something that is coming to a conclusion there. I hope, fingers crossed, 100%, that this is going to be a positive resolution in the end, but I wouldn't hold my breath at this point, unfortunately. And unfortunately, also, I think it kind of, really sours Eagle Dynamics' want and ability to actually give third parties, the more kind of big showcase modules like the F-15E Strike Eagle, because the third-party module could just be gone like that, based off of some weird issue that may occur. So I would highly doubt that, say for instance, a third party in the future would ever get you know, another version of the F-15 or another version of the FA-18, whether that's a Super Hornet or like an FA-18D. Something that's going to be a true flagship module, Eagle Dynamics is probably going to keep in-house now, simply because I bet you they're feeling like they can't trust that a third party will stick around long enough to see that flagship module come to fruition, as we can see with what happened with the F-15E here. So hopefully this kind of gives you guys an update as to what's all going on. I don't really follow all of the social media out there for all of the DCS drama all the time, and I tend to get in trouble for that because people are like always like, oh my god, how didn't you know this, or how didn't you know that, or blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, well, I have a life, I have a job, I like to do stuff outside of DCS, I like to fly and have fun with DCS when I'm actually sitting here at my computer and making videos for you guys. So I try not to dig too deep into the drama, but this was definitely warranting a video. So please like and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you in the next one, and enjoy this beautiful game.